And a very warm welcome to you. I'm Hayley Palmer. It's so good to have your company here with me on the show this evening, especially as we are joined by some of the cast members of Choir of Man. Yes, we have Lucas, Levi and Connor joining me on tonight's show. And here is what happened when I caught up with them. Guys, it's great to have you here. How are you all doing?
All good, all good.
Yeah. Gotta say, we're sat up on the bar. Had to actually climb up here, but it was worth it to be here at Choir of Man. And I've got to say, I came to see the show last night, and it was just a lovely feeling. I came away just feeling really warm and fuzzy, and I think that's kind of the message you want to get across, isn't it? So.
Yeah,
let's start with you. How did you feel about being in the show?
I've been doing this now for the last 3 years. I just started here in the West End 2 nights ago. So I do feel like the new kid in town again. But I've been doing it for 3 years. I keep coming back. It is the most feel-good thing to be a part of, to go and see. It's a shared experience between audience and those punters in the jungle, us alike. And it's just joy. It's just joy unabashed. So it's the most fun you can possibly have.
And you talk all the way through the show pretty much, don't you? At any point you go, actually...
I get sick of the sound of my own voice.
No, we love your accent, but at any point you just go, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
Oftentimes.
Do you?
No,
you don't show it at all.
Yeah, so there is obviously a set script written by the wonderful Ben Norris, an absolutely genius, award-winning poet. And it's beautiful words, so it actually retains very easily. It flows so nicely. You get to know the lads all very intimately. There's a section of the show where we speak about everyone's home. It's very personal, where each person is from. And so learning those things is a pleasure about these guys. Yeah. So retaining that information is really fun.
Yeah,
so it keeps it interesting.
And Levi, you've got an amazing jump skill, haven't you, in the show?
I do, yeah.
I'm like, are your knees okay today?
Yeah, they've seen better days.
Do you practice that at home?
Well, I used to play basketball, so that was always one of my talents.
That makes sense.
I was always one of the I had big hops. But yeah, so I mean, I had to utilize everything I got in this show, and I saw a moment, and I saw an opportunity to shine, so I took it.
And I want to talk to you about that later, because I heard something that apparently you fell into the audience the other day.
I knew that was coming up.
Slam dunk the first row.
Okay. Footage, because I'm trying to get hold of this.
Yeah, unfortunately not. Like, I'd be famous right now if there was, because it was spectacular. So I jumped off the table, as I've done over 100 times, landed in a puddle of beer. Oof. I don't know how that got there. It definitely wasn't me.
Hey, don't look at me.
Okay, it's likely me, because I spit beer in the air, as you saw. So I slipped on the puddle, hit the floor and rolled ever so gently into the audience. And just landed horizontal on the front row.
And did people think that was just normal behaviour?
Yeah, afterwards they were like, oh, I like that new bit of blocking. I was like, no, I just fell off.
You're a visionary.
I was lucky, because Lucas was the one to pull me up.
I saved
it. I saw
Lucas, can't we?
I saw him just looking at me laughing, reaching out.
Okay?
Yeah, everybody was fine, except my ego.
No one was harmed in this. And Lucas, I'm loving your tap dancing skills.
Thank you
We're going to do a
very
duet later.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a dance off.
Time steps and wings, if that means anything to you at home. But you're just gonna love it. But apparently you don't do that every night, do you? You kind of cover different roles.
Yeah, so I'm a swing on the show, so I cover 4 different parts depending on when the need arises. Sometimes it's one of the 4, sometimes it's 2 at a time. There's sort of hybrid shows.
Is that confusing for you? Or are you just like, nah, it's easy, I've got this?
I mean, no. I wouldn't go as far as say that.
No.
But you get, it's a weird one, because it's sort of, because it's so challenging, and because it's sort of like thinking on your feet, last minute, just trying to solve problems. It's also really fun. I mean, it like when things go wrong in mild ways, and you have to problem solve, you have to step in, and it's just, oh, you need to be over there on this second on the stage, and then suddenly there's a guitar that isn't being played here, and you need to put on tap shoes over there. It's I thrive off of it a bit, I think.
Do you?
I'm a bit of an
You like it when
adrenaline
things
junkie.
go wrong?
I like it when I fix things before they go wrong.
Ah,
That's satisfying.
my dance teacher said to me once, it's not the mistakes you make, it's how you cover them up.
100%. That's the show.
There
Yeah,
we
I mean,
go.
the falling off stage, there wasn't much recovery I could do for that one.
He's never going to get over that one. But anyway, we're going to go into Wake Me Up, because it's a great song on the show, isn't it? It's a real feel-good factor. So we're going to kick off with that. Enjoy. Now I want to rewind to how things started for you guys, because I love hearing where you trained, and sometimes it's nice for us at home to hear these stories. So let's start with you. You trained at Mountview, didn't you?
Me? No.
No, you didn't.
I did not. No.
You trained at Mountview.
I trained at Mountview.
See, I was just testing him. I have done my research.
I can't remember. Yeah.
Tell us your story.
So, as you can hear from the accent, I'm not from around these parts. So, I'm from the west of Ireland, Galway, tiny little town. And so that little town was very sporting orientated. However, I managed to find the one youth theatre, Loughrea Youth Theatre. It really gave me the foundation I needed. Started at 7. So since then, I went to Dublin, trained there. It's in Bullally Theatre Training Company. Stayed in Dublin for many years, doing plays, a lot of theatre, original writing. And then auditioned for this show. It came out of nowhere. I nearly didn't audition. It was a coin flip. I saw the brief. Everyone needed to play an instrument, and I didn't play piano before this show.
What?
And so I was like, well, it's just not... It suits me, but I don't know. And so my mum was like, absolutely go to that audition.
Mums know best.
Yes, they are. Hi, Mum. And so I went down, auditioned, got the cruise ship.
What was the audition like, though? What did you do?
It was the most fun audition you can imagine. It really was.
Yeah.
So, you go and you sing 2 songs. That was the first day. And then you get a
Did you have a good feeling? Were you like, I've got this in the bag?
Actually, I went in feeling nothing. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go in and have fun. So I chose Take On Me by A.H.A. as my
Do you know that got number 2 in the charts, not number 1? And then A1 covered it and they got to number 1.
Well,
Fun fact there.
that is a good
I'm good on the pub quiz team.
That is nice. Yes, that needs to happen at some point. Yeah.
Did you do the dance in the audition as well?
I started with my back. Did you? I turned my head around. I was like, yeah, I did.
You got the job, kid.
They were like, we've never heard this in an audition room. You better give it personality. And I was like, oh, you wait and see.
Wow. Again, we need video footage. We'll track it down.
Yeah.
And Lucas, you trained at Mountview.
Yes, I did train at Mountview.
I knew I'd get there in the end. Was that something you always wanted to do? Did you always knew you wanted to dance and sing and act from a young age?
Well, I grew up as a tap dancer. That was sort of my main discipline. I grew up in Germany, but my grandmother lived in New York.
Oh.
My mom's from New York, so I used to spend like summers and Christmas time in New York, and I used to train there. Went to Steps, the big dance school in New York. So that was sort of my upbringing. But then my aunt, who studied
stage management at RADA, said you need to go to drama school in the UK because best drama schools in the world, do that. So then I auditioned when I finished my A-levels back in Germany. I auditioned, went back and forth, got into Mountview and studied actor musicianship, which was really a great course to be in because it allowed me, I grew up also as a pianist, and it allowed me to pursue acting, which I'd done, again, just a little bit growing up, but also to pursue my music. And then, so I did that for 3 years. And then this job sort of just, my friends told me when it came to town the first time, you got to go see this show because there's a tap dance role, there's different music roles, So the skill sets that I learned at drama school just perfectly applied to the show. And I was able to bring my whole skill sets to the audition. It was meant to be.
Yes, and he loves the coffee, don't you? He's got the coffee behind here.
Love the coffee.
Loves the coffee. That's what goes on in between shows.
Man.
Levi, I'm not having this. This is your first professional show. I can't get my head around that because it looks like you've literally been doing it for years.
Well, I've been a musician. I was a singer-songwriter for the past decade. For the past 4 years, I was in a rock band from Cardiff called Black Elvis.
Cool.
We played at every stage in Cardiff, and I've just been doing that for the past few years. So I'm no stranger to the stage, but when it comes to musical theatre, this is my first ever.
You've got the bug now. You're like, that's it. I really want to get more into theatre.
I've always wanted to be in movies. That was it. I wanted to be in action movies, and obviously growing up watching High School Musical and Hairspray, I was like, I want to do some.
Love a bit of High School Musical.
I wanted to be in musical movies, but then as soon as I got to the stage, and I've done a few short films, and it's just you're waiting around for the next shot for 20 minutes, half hour. I prefer the live.
You like the live stuff, get a buzz out of the live stuff.
You can feel the energy, there's the reciprocation of the energy and it's just magic, you can feel the energy. It's nice. There's nothing that quite compares.
It's true, actually. Yeah, it's that kind of kick that you get. You can't have an off day even, can you? You've got to be like on it the whole time, but then it's worth it, isn't it? So brilliant. Well, we are going to go into 500 miles because I have to say I came to see the show last night and I was literally joining in, giving it my best. Woo! So we're going to go into that. I won't sing for you. Okay, we have got a quick fire question round for you guys. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Yes.
So,
Who takes, out of you three, the longest to get ready?
Probably this guy.
Hey, look at what
he
you're
doesn't
doing.
get
Look
ready
at the
till the
hair.
last round.
it's the fact that I have 4 different costumes and I need to figure out, first of all, which costumes to put on, whether I need to mic my shoes,
Right.
and all that pizzazz.
How long does that take you?
2 minutes longer than these guys.
An age.
Who's got the best dance moves?
Ooh, Levi, let's go. Let's go right
I like that. I mean, this guy. Okay, this guy's a king tapper, but
Yeah.
I got a lot of fun.
You got
I got
moves.
groove.
I've seen you. To be fair, he's got moves.
Ah,
He's got
thank
the
you,
inbuilt
sir.
moves.
What about you? Have you got some
I've yet to
dad
see-
dancing?
Yeah, so full disclaimer, just started 2 days ago, so I don't know the lads too well.
Oh.
But dad dancing king, I would say.
Really?
I've often been told to tone it down during pina colada. The hips, I just lose the hips. It's out of control. So we'll see. We'll see how far it goes.
Rain those hips in.
This is an important question. Who forgets their lines the most?
Well,
We don't have lines. So.
Yeah, we don't really have
that'll
live.
be me. Yeah, who knows?
That's
Sometimes-
understandable.
Sometimes it just, and you're like, uh-oh, but then you're like, it's fine. So, yeah.
Yeah, he's got it. He got it. What is your favourite song from the whole show? Let's start with you, Lucas.
I would have to say Some Nights.
Some nights.
Some nights at the very end, it hits. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the most fun to do.
Me, Pina Colada.
The parting glass for me.
So I got shit too. Chandelier because of the harmonies, I just love it. And a cappella, I've always wanted to be part of something like that. But also, You're the Voice, my song, because it has such
Yeah.
a nice message. I feel like
Yeah.
it says something I want to say to people and bring people together. So it means
It's a classic 80s tune, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know when you're listening to Smooth,
Anthem.
like on the way home in an Uber, that's the sort of song they play.
Yeah,
Oh my God, yeah.
And you can't help but to sing along with that chorus as well.
Ah, it's amazing. I love it. Who's the funniest? Don't all rush at once.
I don't know, this guy. He's only been here 2 days,
a
but he's
dark
cracked me up
horse,
a few
yeah.
times. Yeah, he's
cheeky.
really good with the crowd participation.
Yeah,
We'll see how
that's
it
a
goes.
skill, you know, getting the audience on your side, isn't
You
it?
never know what they're going to scream at you, so you have to just be
You
ready.
just don't know who you've got in the
You just
audience, do
don't know.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Favourite thing to eat after the show? It's like really important questions here because I need to know this in my life. Lucas, we're going to start with you.
Some ramen goes a long way for
Some
me.
what, sorry?
Ramen?
I'm not a fan.
Just like, mate, ramen, just like a nice bowl of super ramen is the way to go. You know?
Right, okay, beat that.
I don't know. Maybe a bowl of soup. Go home, have a nice hot bowl of soup.
God, you guys,
soup
you're
king.
Five Guys down the road.
I know, actually, I'm more like a fried chicken kind of guy. I'll get a big bucket. I eat so much after the show because I wore my watch for one of the shows. I burned like 1,000 calories
Yeah, I
for
bet.
the show. So I just have to keep overloading the carbs
Just-
when I finish.
Yeah. It's hard to know when to eat, isn't it? I mean,
I'm finding that
involved in
already.
it.
I'm like,
When do you
before
eat?
the show, I'm starving after.
And then, yeah.
Go big before the show, go big
always
after.
I think big
It's-
after.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good to clarify. And hidden talent. Really putting them on the spot here.
Talents.
Levi,
I'm pretty good at ballet.
are you? What grade did you do in
like a
ballet?
I didn't do grades, but I got a master's in musical theatre, so I did about 3 years training with that. And before in college, I did Fame in college, so I started then, I played Tyrone Jackson, learned a
Ah, I
bit.
can see you doing that role.
I was never that great at ballet, but I can kind of fake
You
it.
do
so
a
I
triple
look good.
pirouette.
Yeah,
Okay, we're going to show us later on. I will in my heels.
at least a double.
Connor, what's your...
Oh, I don't know if I have any hidden talents. I can whistle and hum at the same time. Can you do it?
What? Go on then. I've never
that?
seen that before.
Sound like a spaceship.
I mean,
That's what I think it sounds like, a UFO. But that's not great, really.
we're stunned to
There you go.
silence.
We're dredging the barrel here. Yeah.
Lucas.
Oh man, that's a good question. I would say my hidden talent is knowing almost every Monty Python sketch.
Fantastic.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe my hidden
That's
The
great.
cameraman's liking that one. Okay, good. Well, on that high note, how can we possibly compete with that? We're going to go into see Chandelier. Like we say in the show, the harmonies are just exceptional. Make sure you check out Choir of Man soon.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1.
We've got another question from Mark. He says, what is your ritual before you go on? Is there something that you kind of have to do? I know you do like a warm-up, don't you? Okay, what, an hour before, is it?
About an hour before, yeah.
An hour before. Okay. So what is it Or do you have anything that you have to go, I have to do this, because otherwise I'm going to mess the whole show up?
I do a headstand for half.
Do you really? I was going to say.
To be honest, for me, not really. I just run through the speeches in my head once, just for peace of mind.
Do you have it like on a tape recorder? Or like?
I do actually have recorded.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the new bits for this run particularly.
Yeah.
Because each time I go into the show, the
It
whole
changes a
speech,
bit, yeah.
It does change because they're individual to each person. So yeah, I've got that on record, so I might just put the headphones on, have a listen, just feel as prepared as I can.
Are you like, nobody talk to me?
Yeah, I hate them all. I'm like, leave me, leave me. No, not at all.
Punch me once.
Yeah, right in the face. So yeah, no, not at all. Just get in the mindset. But it's a fun show at the same time.
So even if you mess up, it doesn't really matter, does it?
Yeah, you can just vibe with it and just pull it back, and it's fine. But yeah, having some fun backstage is the perfect thing because you go on and just continue the.
We want the energy.
So
it's good vibes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Your energy is actually insane. It's like, because just see, you give that energy to the crowd, and the crowd are giving it back, aren't they?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
But they were last night.
Sometimes it's kind of like a dry wall and it just kind of falls.
Is that a challenge though? You're going to
'cause
laugh?
then we have to win them over then, so it's always a big challenge.
But sometimes people don't know what they've walked into, do they?
Oh, never. That's usually the case.
Like even when I came in, I didn't realise that you were allowed to come up on stage and get a beer. Like you have like a little token. But the thing is, I drink Malibu.
Right. We'll get on that. We'll get on that.
Yeah. Next time I come, I want Malibu, Coke and a umbrella and straw.
Yeah, someone write that down.
Levi, what about you? Is there a ritual that you do?
Rituals? Yes, I mean, I usually have to refresh my nails every show.
Your nails?
Yeah. Just
Do you paint
carrying
them
a bit.
yourself?
Yeah, just carrying a bit of my
Skill,
rock
isn't
band.
it?
Yeah, I mean, I
Is
don't
it the
do
one
this
that dries in a minute?
It takes a little while. Sometimes I get on my clothes, but I actually have an actual ritual before I burst through the doors in Welcome to the Jungle. I do a little like haka. So I
What's
slap
that?
my knees.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
And then
Sick.
I do like a, I don't know, you probably, somebody watches Dragon Ball Z, I turn Super Saiyan and then I bust through the door.
That's the best show ritual I've ever heard.
So sick.
I've done it every single night since opening. Without words.
Okay.
I'll be looking for that Dragon Ball.
I was going to say.
The show now.
Yeah.
Actually, I do it. So in You're the Voice, down a barrel of a gun. I do like a little
Full Super Saiyan.
Super Saiyan thing. It's
look
only
out
for
for
me,
that.
but I love it.
Love that.
We always come to you last, but you've always got like a really good answer.
Well, there you go.
Don't let me down.
Pre-show, yeah, the warm-up, it's a weird one because what you were saying as well with like having fun backstage, the show itself is so energetic and it seems as if everything's sort of improv and loose, and that's sort of the beauty of the show, but actually the reality is that the focus is 100% all the time because there's so many little details, whether it's just moving a pint cup, which, it seems just like, oh, he's grabbing the pint. But especially when I have to play 4 different characters, like it's those little details before.
Yeah, no, I
just
understand.
go through them in my head. But then at the same time, you also want that energy of
it's a
we're the boys in the
skill.
pub. So it's depending on where you're coming from on the day. If you know that you're already really focused and you have to be a bit more playful, then I might joke around and poke him while he's having his headphones on. But similarly, if you're having too much fun backstage, I'll just have a moment to take a breath, go through the show in my head, make sure that I'm on top of everything so that I can deliver.
Love that. Well, we're going to go into Dance with My Father, and you nearly made me cry last night.
Oh.
Honestly, everyone was around, was getting the tissues out, and it's quite a nice thing in a way because obviously it's like really high energy and like good vibes, but also when you kind of bring it down a little bit and then bring it up again, it's like a little journey you go on, isn't it?
It's the beautiful thing about this show is that it can make you feel all sorts of different emotions ranging from across the entire spectrum. To have a quieter moment amidst this madness is beautiful. So the pub is the last place people would expect to go to open up, to talk about their feelings, especially men or young men. And there's so many young men who die by suicide. The stats are alarming. So to have a pub like this with 9 guys saying to these people, you know what, it's okay to open up, it's okay to talk, it's okay to show this emotion. It's a really healthy thing, and it's such a lovely moment in the show that I think is so important and necessary. So it's a real honour to get to sing that and provide that emotion. So it's really lovely.
Absolutely. Well, enjoy this and I'll see you after. We've got some questions from some of our lovely viewers. Jan says she wants to know, because she came to see the show last week, what's the funniest thing that has happened, like individually? Because you do have a lot of audience participation, you're getting people out the audience. There's bound to be things that kind of go right or go wrong. So let's start with you.
Yeah.
Anything spring to mind?
I was doing the show in Coventry, and we do Somebody to Love, so we find someone to love in the crowd for the barman. And while they're out doing it, this chap, this guy, just came up onto the stage, and we're all locking arms, just looking at the barman. And all of a sudden, we look to our left, and there's just a guy like, I'm here now too.
Legend.
Hello. We were like,
What is it be involved?
we all just noticed, and then I think we all just kind of froze and went, what's happening? Who are you? What's going on? And then someone just went, no. And he went, okay, and just wandered off. Just decided to come up on
He's
stage.
living his best life.
Yeah, it's great. Fair
Was
play.
he like
Fair play, you know?
under the influence of alcohol, or he just decided to?
I would assume so.
You'd hope so.
Like an
yeah,
alcohol
yeah,
thing.
the
Yeah.
slight sway.
Yeah, kind of bit of a giveaway.
Yeah, but no, it's good.
Like it. Levi?
Apart from falling off the stage
Yeah.
onto the lovely
We're going to keep
audience.
mentioning it at any
Yeah,
opportunity.
So I'm going to mention something else because I've already mentioned that. One time, Lucas was singing to Teenage Dream to a lucky audience member.
Oh, good lord.
And there's one moment in that song where he kind of cues them to touch his leg as part of the lyrics. And usually they give like a kind of respectful touch of the leg, but this lady, she went all the way up.
Wow,
and then
it's like Magic Mike.
And then proceeded to stand behind Lucas and smother his whole body, and then moved up to his face and started rubbing his face while we're all singing. And I couldn't even sing the song. I couldn't sing.
I mean, she took her opportunity.
Yeah, she took
Yeah,
a
no,
shot.
you gotta.
You just carried on. You were like,
Yeah, he carried on playing and
play.
singing.
That's when your physical training comes
That's
into...
when 3 years of drama school comes into use.
never prepare
It was
you.
only afterwards
Every
we
single
realised how problematic that was.
Very much so, yeah.
God.
Molestation.
I love how people... Yeah. I love how people...
What was the question? I can't believe
Administration.
funny.
That's never funny. That's
Just,
never funny.
no. Just to confirm, it's, if you haven't seen the show, we promise it's really fun, and you'll just laugh so much. Lucas, I forgot what the question was, and you're just going to tell me whatever you want.
Funny. I'd say there's a moment in the show where there's a towel whip, where the person who plays the maestro, who is usually Mike Baxter, the one, the only, the legend, he gets a towel whip from our lovely Joker, and most of the times the towel whip kind of lands and it hurts a bit, but one time, boy oh boy, I don't think I've never. It was like a
Supersonic.
sonic boom. It was like a plane just.
Oh,
and
takes your breath
that
away.
was the best moment of my life.
Not the Teenage Dream moment.
And on that note, these are the amazing answers that we've got here tonight. We're going to go into The Voice, the song that you sing, because we love it, because you sing it, and also we love it because it's an 80s classic, and like you say, it's got a really good message. So turn this one up loud. Time flies when we're having fun. They're like, yeah, we are. We're definitely having fun. So if people haven't seen the show, like, where have you been? You need to get down to the Arts Theatre. It's in Leicester Square, so you can get on the tube. It's like a 1 minute walk, isn't it? It's pretty across the road. It's all good. Yeah. But I want you guys to tell me each, like, for people at home that are like, we want to come out of the house. Because after, like, COVID and stuff, people are still a bit like, you know, should we come out, stay in, you know? But we can promise you that when you come here, you will leave feeling $1 million. So, Levi, let's start with you. Why should people at home come and see Choir of Man?
I think everybody needs to see Choir of Man. I feel like it's the show like that bridges the fans like of musical theatre to just fans of music and good times. You know, it's not the musical for the gatekeepers. It's the musical for the people. It's not set in a fantasy world with a fantasy, you know, dragons and wizards. It's just 9 guys, and I think it's because it's so grounded, it's so relatable, and because it's so relatable, it's so poignant. It's like Connor said, it's encouraging people to feel their emotions and to actually, you know, feel something rather than bottle it in, which so many people are. And I feel like that's what this show's about. It's about letting yourself out rather than, you know, confining yourself to your own solitude.
Because you're right, there's 9 of you, but it's almost like you're the 10th member sat there.
Yeah.
You're that involved. Yeah. Like, that's how it makes you feel. Because sometimes you see shows and you think, oh, that's not for me. Like, you feel disconnected. Yeah. But with this, I can't stress it enough, you really feel like you are part of it and you feel, like, fully involved. And also, you might see him fall off the stage, so it's definitely worth coming on that basis.
I'll try not to.
Lucas, let's come to you. Why should people come and see Choir of Man?
Well, yeah, just to piggyback off of what Levi said, I think, you know, like when you chat to people after the show, what's really nice is that you have different reactions. But usually, like, people who are having already a fun day, it's just a great way to end the night, you know, or to start the night. Come out for a pint and just good vibes. But equally, there's a lot of people who come up after the show and say, hey, listen, I've been really struggling lately, or they've been going through stuff, and people who are just in a bit of a rough patch, and they come up to you afterwards, excuse me, after the show, and they just express how uplifting it was and how it feels like a little safe space. You know, it's a really nice, intimate little theater. And it can all get a bit much, you know. Life can get a bit much.
Of course,
And
yeah,
the
we all need an
show-
escape, don't we?
And that's what this show is.
It's an
It just
escape,
provides a little escape and a little sort of, you have 9 mates here waiting for you. And we're really happy.
Might come along again today, actually.
Well, there you go.
There we go, there we go.
Well, I don't know how much I can add to that. The lads have said it all, really. I mean, it's the most fun you can have.
Yeah.
It's so fun. By the end, when some nights hits, you see most nights just people lifted to their feet, you know? They just can't help it. So that's a true standing ovation when you just get up off your seat because you've nothing else to do with your body but move. And you see people dancing and joyous, people who've never met in the crowd, just looking at each other and clapping, and it's just it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful shared experience, and I've never seen or been a part of anything else that quite has that. It's such a unique thing here. So if you want a great night, come on down to the Arts Theatre.
And also, you might get a packet of crisps.
You might do.
Maybe, and a free pint.
And a free pint, because they throw out crisps to the audience. I got ready salted. If I come again, I want salt and vinegar.
Okay. Write that down as well.
Am I diva?
Goodness me.
No, honestly, yeah. It is an amazing show, so make sure you come down. But guys, thank you so much, because I know like how busy you are. I know you need an afternoon nap, but they've come here, they've done the interview. I'm now going to try and get down off the stage, which should be interesting. We won't be, put that bit on camera. But thank you so much. It's the cast of Choir and Band, everyone.
Oh, thank you.
Woo! Huge thank you to Connor, Lucas and Levi. Just great fun here on tonight's show. Make sure you get down to London's Art Theatre to check out Choir of Man. Now, I will see you same time, same place next week. We're going to play out with some Katy Perry, and I'll see you then.